You are welcome into another tutorial, and in today's tutorial we'll be sewing stylish bubu gown. The total amount of fabric we are working with is 3 yards and we have folded the fabric into 4. So the neck width we are working with for our bubu is 5 inches. So we take our tape measure and measure out 5 inches. Then we mark it out. And the total shoulder length we are working with is 24 inches. So we also mark it out. So once we are done placing our tape measure at 24 inches, then we mark it out. And from that 24 inches point, we come down by 2 inches to create our shoulder slope. So from our 5 inches neck width, we connect straight into the 2 inches that we come down by. So make sure you adjust your ruler properly and mark it out. As we all know, our shoulder line is not straight, so that the fabric will not be gaping at the shoulder area. So we have to come down by that 2 inches to create our shoulder slope. So now we input our hip measurement. My hip is 25 inches, so you input yours. Then we repeat the same measurement at the center of our fabric so that we can have a straight line. So once we are done doing that, we connect with our straight ruler. The reason we are taking our hip measurement is because the hip is the largest part of my body, and that is what is going to determine our bubu size. So my hip measurement is 11.5 inches, so I'll be adding 2.5 inches to it, making 14 inches. So you input your own hip measurement and add 2.5 inches to it to create your bubu. So we repeat the same measurements at the top of our fabric so that we can have a perfect straight line. And from the base as well, we measure 14 inches. So from that point now, we'll be coming down by 12 inches. That is the opening we'll be having at the armhole area. So you can come down by 11 inches, but I want mine to be free, so that is why I come down by 12 inches. So we repeat the same 14 inches at the hem of our fabric. And once I'm done marking it, then we connect our straight line. From the 12 inches point, we connect straight to the hip line. Then from the hip line now, we connect to the hem of our gown. So this is going to be the size of our bubu. So once we are done connecting that, we go to the side. So we now measure what we have there. We are having 10 inches. We locate the midpoint and mark it out, which is 5 inches. So from the edge of our fabric, we come up by 3 inches. So we now connect from that 3 inches straight into the 5 inches midpoint to create a slight curve. I want to use a free hand so that I can have the slight curve, but you can use curve ruler as well. So just use your own preference. So from that point, we now connect straight down. So the 5 inches we have there now, we take it to the hem of our fabric. Then we mark it out. So we now connect with our straight ruler. So once we are done connecting, you blend the curve properly. So we now blend it properly with our chalk now, you can see. So we are done creating the side. So the next thing we do now is to go back to the neck area. So the neck depth we are working with is 5 inches for the front neckline. Then we'll be coming down by 2 inches for the back neckline. So the total neck width we are having is 5 inches neck width, then 5 inches neck depth for the front, but 2 inches neck depth for our back neckline. So once we are done marking, we connect with our curve ruler. So we are connecting the back neckline now. So we turn our ruler the other way around and connect the front neckline. So we are done creating our neckline both for the front and the back, so we can start cutting our fabric now. So try to move your hand in a curvy manner at the hip area. So adjust the fabric properly so that I can cut through to have a perfect edge. So once I'm done cutting the side, I'll go to the neck area. So we are cutting the back neckline first. Then we cut out the shoulder slope. So we are done cutting our fabric. So we'll be separating the back from the front now. So we'll bring out the back fabric and set it aside. Then we fold the front properly. So we are now cutting the front neckline. So once we are done cutting, we have our front and back fabric ready. I'll be placing them on each other now. So this is our front and the back fabric. So we need to stitch the shoulder area. So we turn the fabric right side facing each other, placing the front on the back. So once we are done aligning the fabric properly, so we mark out ½ inch on the shoulder area on both sides. So we'll be marking ½ inch on the two sides. Then we clip it down. Once I'm done marking, I'll be showing us. So I've marked out the ½ inch, then I've clipped it down. So because of the style that we are creating, from the back, we'll be going out by 15 inches. Since our neck width is 5 inches, I'll be placing 5 inches at the edge of the shoulder. Then I'll mark it straight down to 15 inches. So that is where our stitch will be stopping. So I'll go to the other side as well, placing 5 inches at the neck area on the shoulder side, then mark it to 15 inches. So I'll mark it out. So I'll be stitching from the neckline to that 15 inches point on both sides. So once I'm done stitching, I'll bring it for us to see. So I've stitched down the shoulder area on both sides. You can see the remaining opening on both the right and the left side. So the next thing to do now is to fold in the raw edges. So we'll be folding it by 1/4 inch all through to the neckline. So I'll repeat the same thing on the other side and I'll be showing us the outcome. So I'm done pinning down the shoulder area. You can see from the neckline straight to the shoulder. So I'll repeat the same thing on the other side as well. Then we stitch it down. Once I'm done doing that, I'll be showing us the final look. So I'm done stitching it down. You can see how it is. Then I've ironed it down as well. And it's laying flat. So the next thing to do now is to turn our neckline with bias. To achieve this, we'll be turning our fabric to the right side. Then we align the neckline properly. Then we now place our bias from the shoulder area. Then we pin it down all around. Once I'm done pinning, I'll be showing us. So I'm done pinning my bias. So I'll take it to the sewing machine and stitch down from the right side now. So I'm done stitching it down. Then I turn it to the wrong side and pin it down again to stitch down. So once I'm done stitching, I'll be showing us the final look. So I've stitched down the bias on the neck area now. So by the time we turn it to the right side, we adjust it properly. Then I'll give it a good ironing. You can see it's laying flat already. So once we are done doing that, the next thing to do is to sew down the raw edges on the sides. So I'll be sewing down the raw edges on the 4 sides, both for the front and the back. And once I'm done stitching, I'll be showing us the final look. So I've stitched down the fabric for both the front and the back. You can see that it's laying flat. But if you are finding it difficult to sew down the raw fabric, you can turn it also with your bias tape. And once we are done stitching, the next thing we do is to take in our side measurements. And don't forget, we go in by 14 inches for our bubu size. So we'll be marking out our 14 inches now on the right side. Because it is a bubu, we'll be sewing on the right side. So we repeat the same thing at the top. And the reason we are repeating this measurement is to have a perfect straight line. Don't forget. So from the shoulder now, we come down by 12 inches. That is the armhole opening. So it is from that point now that we'll be stitching our fabric. So we need to confirm the measurement. So we mark out 14 inches. Then we also go to the hem of our fabric and measure out our 14 inches. So once we are done marking, we will connect it with our straight ruler. I'm trying to measure it all through so that I can have a perfect straight line. So we connect with our ruler now. From the 12 inches, don't forget, because that is where our stitch is starting from. Then we connect it to the hem now. And once we are done connecting, we turn our fabric to the other side so that we can mark out our 14 inches, so that we can have exact 14 inches on that side as well. So we fold it over now. adjust the fabric properly, then we start taking in our 14 inches. And before we begin, we need to note the point where our stitch is stopping on the other side, because our stitch must begin from the same point. So by the time we confirm it now, you will see that we are having 14 inches there. So you can see. So that part is equal. Then we continue in putting our 14 inches all straight to the hem of our gown. So once we are done marking, then we'll connect. But kindly note, because it is a short bubu, that is why we are using 14 inches all through. But if we are sewing a long bubu at the hem, we still have to go out by 2 to 3 inches so that we can be able to work properly. So kindly take note, but for our short bubu, we can go down with our straight line. So we connect into a straight line now. And once we are done connecting, we start clipping down that point so that our fabric did not shift from position. So we pick in the first two. You can see the way I pick it. Then you pin it down. We go to the hip area now. You pin it down. Then the point where we'll be starting our stitch from. And once we are done pinning, we fold it over to the other side so that we can pin it down as well. And this will help us to be able to sew in the exact amount that we take in. And it will also ensure that our fabric lay flat once we are done stitching. So that is why it's always good to use your pin while sewing. I'm almost done pinning this side as well. So I'll be pinning the last point now. And that is the point where our stitch will be starting from. And once I'm done pinning, I'll be opening up the fabric. So I will open it up and adjust it properly to ensure that it is laying flat. And once I'm done confirming that, the next thing we do now is to stitch it down on both the right and the left side. But before we go ahead to stitch the two sides, we need to fold in the hem of our fabric. So we stitch it in by ½ inch, both the front and the back. And once I'm done stitching, I'll be showing us the final look. So we are done sewing our bubu. You can see I've stitched down the hem and both the right and the left side as well. So by the time I open it up, you can see how it's laying flat, and I've already ironed it as well, both the front and the back. And you can see the side as well. Look at how the curved area comes out neatly. So this is the final look. You can see. If you enjoyed this tutorial, don't forget to click on the like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you for watching. See you in our next video.